Cool. So now you can see we are getting our value of authentication to be true, and also we are getting our entire token. Hey everyone, welcome back. In this video, we are gonna be integrating our authentication backend that we have developed so far with our front end. So please smash that like button and let's get started. So first thing first, we shall be moving under our puff.py.yaml file, and you need to get the following dependencies of HTTP and also of provider. Once we have gotten the following dependencies, we shall be moving under our core folder. And first of all, we shall be creating a folder known as services. Also, we shall be requiring one more folder. So here I will be having one more folder of providers. Cool. So once we have done this, let's create a new file under our services called as api.dart. So under this file, first of all, I will be having a new class known as API, just like this. Alright, let's minimize this up. And under this class of API, we are gonna be instantiating all of our HTTP methods. So first of all, what I am gonna be doing is importing my HTTP library. So for that purpose, I'm gonna be writing import HTTP as HTTP. So first thing first, we are gonna be requiring a client from our HTTP module. So for that purpose, you should be writing here final client, just like this. And the following thing shall be equal to HTTP client itself, and the following thing shall be equal to client from our HTTP module itself. And once we have got our client, let's create a new method for signing up all the users. So under this case, I will be having a new future method. Let's say sign up, just like this. The method is going to be asynchronous, so let's denote it asynchronous. And under this method, first of all, we are going to be requiring a final string, which will be a path. So here, let's have a new path. So instead of recurring our entire path here, I am going to be going under my app folder, just right here, and I will be creating a new file known as API routes.dart. Just like this, and under this I will be having a new constant string, which will be our API URL, and the following thing shall be underquotes to be our URL. So for that purpose, let's go under our Postman and let's copy our following URL. Let's go back and let's paste everything here. We won't be requiring this forward slash, so we will be removing it off. Cool. So once we have got our API URL, we shall be moving back, and under this path I shall be writing here under dollar quotation of API underscore of URL. Let's import the following thing, and after that we shall be having our path to be user/signup. If you remember, and once we have got our path, we shall be also requiring a URI. So here I shall be writing a new final URI. Let's name it to be URI, and the following thing shall be equal to URI.parse, just like this. And under our path we need to paste our path, so let's paste our path here. Format document first. And once we have done this, let's start our actual implementation. So first of all, I shall be having a new response value. So here, let's have a new response, and the following response shall be nothing but a new response, and this response shall be under await state. So under await state, I shall be writing my HTTP client that we have declared here. So here we shall be having our HTTP client, and by this we shall be posting all of our data, that the user data that needs to sign in. So first of all, it shall be requiring a URI, that is URL. And after having the following URL, it shall be also requiring some headers. So let's have some common headers. And under a case of headers, you need to write here a content type and also an accept form, which shall be requiring an application/JSON. And similarly, under the case of content type, it shall be application/JSON of character set of UTF-8. And once we have done this, we shall be also requiring here a last attribute, which will be a body. So for inputting our body, we shall be moving under our sign up. And here we shall be having a new map of body, just like this. And under our body, I will be simply writing here JSON encode. And under our encode, I need to simply paste my body here, just like this. Cool. So once we have done this, we are good to go. So once we have our entire response, I shall be simply returning my entire response dot body, just like this. And once we have done this, we are good to go. So now let's copy the following method and paste it one more time. But here let's have our login method. Format document first, and here we shall be having our login method as well. But you know what, the path shall be different. So here let's have a login path, just like this. Cool. So once we have declared our both of the methods, let's create a new provider for them. So for that purpose, I shall be moving under my providers. Alright, let's minimize this up. And under our provider, I will be creating a new file known as auth provider.dart. So here, first of all, let's have a new class of auth provider. The following class shall be extending with change notifier. So here, let's have a new change notifier. So here, let's have a new change notifier as its extension. Why not? So once we have got our change notifier to be an extension, let's have the final instance of our API class. So here let's have a new API underscore API, which should be equal to API. And once we have got the instance object of our API class, let's create a new method for sign up. First of all, let's make the following process to be asynchronous. Why not? So under this process, first of all, let's have a try block. And also we are gonna be having a catch block. We shall be catching all the errors. So for now, I will be simply adding a comment of add error widget. And for now, I will be simply printing my error is something went wrong, just like this. So let's go under our try block and implement our entire functionality. So under our try block, I will be calling my API. So here let's have API dot sign up, just like this. Now it shall be requiring a body. So let's go under our arguments and provide here a body, just like this. And after having this body, I will be taking the value from it, cause it is a future method. So here let's have a then and a value. Let's name the following value to be odd data. Why not? And instead of returning a null, let's print up our entire odd data first of all. So here let's have a print statement for printing our odd data. Alright, a missing parenthesis, let's paste it here. Cool. So once we have done this, let's copy the following method one more time and paste it here. But here let's have a new method known as login. And also here we shall be requiring here a login. Easy as that. So once we have done this, we are good to go. So first of all, let's go under our views for integrating our auth provider with it. But before that, let's go under our app, and here under our app folder, I will be creating a new file. Okay, let's make it here. And under our app folder, I will be creating a new file for all the providers. So here, let's have all the providers.dart. And under this, first of all, we shall be having all of our providers. So here, let's have main providers. And under this, I shall be having a new list of all the providers available under our application. So for that purpose, I will be having here a single child widget, just like this. Let's name it to be providers itself, and it will be a list of all the providers. So first of all, we are going to be requiring all the independent providers. So here let's have independent providers. And under this, let's have a new list of single child widget as well. Alright, let's copy the following spelling. And here I am going to be naming it to be a remote providers. And under this, we need to provide here our authentication provider, cause our authentication provider will be not dependent on anything. So here let's have a new change notifier provider. Under this, it shall be requiring a create value. So for now, I shall be removing my create value and give it an empty value. And the following thing shall be referring to our auth provider. So here let's paste on our auth provider. Easy as that. Let's import the following thing. Cool. So format document first. And once we have done this, we shall be moving under our list and implementing the following remote providers under it. Easy as that. So now let's move under our main.dart file, and here let's have a new multi providers. And under our multi providers, first of all, let's import our provider that we have built so far. And after that, we shall be requiring a child. So let's have a child to be our entire material app. Let's paste a semicolon, and now we are good to go. So once we have done everything from this side, let's manipulate our entire views. So for that purpose, let's go under our views folder, under meta, under views, under auth, under sign up. First of all, so under our sign up, we have our three different controllers, which are text editing controllers. So for posting all of our data, yes, I have refactored the following container under a gesture detector. So first of all, we need to check whether the controllers have value or not. So for that purpose, I will be writing here. Cool. So once we have got our following condition, format document first. So we can move under a following condition whether any of the following controller data is not empty. And here I will be instantiating our entire provider of auth provider. So here let's have a provider of auth provider, just like this. And under our auth provider, alright, we have messed some things here. Let's have a context. And here let's have a listen property to false, cause we are only listening to values, not rendering our UI based on it. So here let's have a listen property to false. And after that, we shall be simply signing up our entire user. So let's have your field of sign up, and under this, it shall be requiring a JSON object. So under a JSON object, first of all, we need to provide here a username. So under username, let's have our name controller dot text, just like this. And also it shall be requiring here a user email. So let's have our user email as well. So let's copy the following email controller and have our text. And also we shall be requiring here a password, that is our user password. So here let's have our password controller dot text. So once we have provided the following things, we are good to go. So before moving on, let's make some following changes over our login view as well. So for that purpose, let's move under our login view and let's go at the bottom. Alright, under our gesture director, let's paste everything. Let's import what is necessary. But before that, let's remove our username because we are not providing username under our login method. So let's import our provider. Alright, auth provider and also provider. And here instead of sign up, let's have our login method. Cool. Also, we shall be moving back and copying the entire condition from this side and paste it here. So I will be copying my following thing here and paste it here. Cool. So I need to remove the following piece of line and format document first. Add a semicolon. Why not? Cool. So once everything is done by for now, we are good to go. So now let's try it out. Why not? So for trying it out, let me open my emulator. Cool. The emulator is gone fainted because we need to refresh our entire application. So let's reload our entire application. Cool. So first of all, let's try signing in. So before signing in, let's move here and let's do this following thing here so that we shall be seeing all of our clear results. Alright, let's minimize this thing up. So first of all, let's open our debug console. Cool, our debug console is up and ready. So first of all, let's fill up some data for creating a new user. Cool, so we need to make the following changes under our list view. So for now, I will be simply adding here a John to be a password as well. So after pressing sign up, let's wait for it. Let's check whether we are printing our data or not. Alright, so we are getting our authentication token. And under authentication, we are getting a value to be true. And also we are getting a token of the existing user. So you know what, if I try to sign up one more time, I will be getting the following data that the email is already taken. Congratulations, we have done a great job. So now once we have created a new user under our entire database of Postgres, let's try logging in. So let's go under login option and here let's have the same email that we have pasted. So here let's have John, add a yes and let's try logging in. So now you can see we are getting our value of authentication to be true and also we are getting our entire token. So now if I try to paste on a wrong password instead of a right password of John, let's remove N from here and let's say tick 1 and let's try logging in. Cool, so now you can see we will be getting our following error of authentication error because we are having a wrong password. And you know what, if I pasted here a right password and just remove my entire emails at the rate, it will be an invalid email. So by far now if I press login over it, I will be getting the following thing that user not found. Congratulations. Cool, so in this way we have successfully implemented our login over our entire application. But you know what, we need to make some of the changes over the authentication because let me explain to you about what the changes that we need to do. So first of all, if we move under our login model, that is our services. Alright, let me move under my services, not under services but under providers. So under our providers, you know what, we are simply printing our entire auth data. So you know what, if I move under my auth data and here if I have a new mapping between a string and also a string, and here let's have a data to be parse data and the following thing shall be awaiting. So to make the following thing under await state, let's add async, and here if I try to write down JSON, alright, let's import it, and here if I try decode, not decoder but decode, and if I try to decode my entire auth data under a toString, just right there, and after that if I try to printing out my parse data, and under this if I try to print my token, alright, let's wrap the following thing under a print statement, and if I try to print it out by logging in one more time, let's try it, let's try logging in. Cool, so now you can see we will be getting the following error of internal mapping cannot be assigned. So let's tackle up the following error. So let's try removing our toString just like this, and instead of a string, let's have a new dynamic. Cool, so now let's try it out. Let's try logging in. Now you can see we'll be getting our following data of token, and if I try here authentication one, that is our boolean, and if I save it and if I logging under application one more time, we are getting a true value and also a dynamic value, but we won't be needing this cause the following data cause which will be changing again and again. For instance, if I move under my password thing and instead of John I will be removing my N and try to logging in, we will be getting an error. An error will be the big thick error that the following thing does not exist of our authentication. So to manage this thing up, we need to make some of the changes under our server. So let's start making some changes over our server. So for that purpose, first of all, let's go under our server thing. Let's close off our client by client. And here I will be going under my user repo in which we are sending all of our data. So under our user repo, if you observe under, let's take under case of logging in. So under a case of logging in, if everything went right, we are sending here an authentication, that is a boolean whether it is authenticated or not, and also we are sending a new token. But you know what, instead of this I will be writing here a data just like this, and I will be copying my following format from here and I will be sending such a format everywhere. So for instance, instead of having an send authentication, let's comment it off, and here let's have a new big thick angular brackets. And here I will be returning the following data, that is res.send, but instead of having this thing that is token, I will be copying my authentication error and paste here. And same thing that we have done here, I will be copying this thing here and also send here if nothing went right. Alright, let's delete the following comment, we don't be needing this. And once we have done this, we shall be also moving up at, and here instead of sending a JSON of user not found, I will be returning my following data here. And instead of authentication, I will be saying user not found. But also instead of having authentication to be true, I will be having a value to be false. And same thing goes here and also here, just like this. And once we have done everything from this, we are good to go. But before trying it out, we also need to make changes over our authentication model of our signing up. So here let's have a data instead of a token. Let's copy the following thing, and wherever we are sending our errors, let's send the error just like this. And also we shall be having a value to be false under authentication. Similarly, under the case of email exist, let's paste everything here, and also I will be copying my data, remove it off from here, and here I will be pasting my following response. So let's remove this off and have this thing off as well. So once everything is done, we shall be also moving under this and paste everything here just like this, and we shall be removing the following response from this side. Cool. And you know what, we can also do one thing, that is send a particular status, that is a status response, that is a status code more precisely. So for making that thing happen, before sending our entire response, I will be having here a property of status, that is a status code, and for invalid email I will be sending a status code of 301. So let's go at the top and here let's have somewhat custom status codes. So first of all, we shall be having a 200 if everything is okay, and here we shall be having a 201 if we will be getting email is taken, just like this. Cool. So these will be our following status code that we need to apply. So let's make that thing happen. So first of all, let's move under our logging in, and instead of 301 for email it is already taken, we shall be simply adding. Cool. So we will be sending a status code of 303 in the case of invalid email, just like this. And after that, where we are simply sending a status code of email exist, let's have here a status, and under this let's have a new code. Let's go at the top, and here we are having the following thing of email is taken, just like this. And after that, if we will be getting any sort of error, we will be sending a new status, that is a status code of 500, which will be an internal server error. And if the thing is not so, we shall be sending here a status of 200 if everything went right. So here let's have a status of 200. So once we have done the following changes here, let's make the same changes under our login thing. Cool. So we have make all of our changes under our status codes having the particular authentication response. So let's cross check everything on. We are having authentication true, and also we are sending our token if everything went right. Else if we will be not getting a result, we are sending an internal server error, authentication false, also some authentication error, same as this. We can go at the top. Here we are sending a user not found and also authentication to be false. Similarly under this case and every on so. But here we shall be having our authentication to be false. Let's paste it here. We need to pay attention to our smaller changes. So once everything is done from here, let's push changes over our Git repo. So for that purpose, let's move here under our Git, and let's make the following changes to be happening here. Cool, so let's add a commit. Let's push the following changes over to my repo. Cool, so now let's make some of the proper changes over to our server. But you know what, the following tutorial has gone quite long, so we shall be carrying up the further operations over managing the responses, that is status codes from our server under our application, that is our application, in the next one. Till then, if you have loved this tutorial so far, please hit that like button, it will be awesome. So I will see you in the part 2 of this tutorial. Goodbye.